Hi, it's Cindy Fodor with Stamp the Love. I'm coming to you for our Technique Thursday, and today I have a card that I'm going to call a panel card. I'm not sure if there's another name for it. I mean a quarter panel card. I'm sure somebody that designed it has a different name, but I couldn't find that, and I thought a quarter panel will fit when you see how it goes together. And I'm highlighting a set called Field Journal that's from our annual catalog. And I've been in love with it ever since the catalog came out. And I'm just now finding time to play with it and show that to you. So I hope that you will enjoy this fun fold and this great stamp set. So to start out with, to show you how to cut your quarter panel card, which is what I'm calling this design, you're going to take your 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I usually, for a long card, I usually go ahead and score it first at 5.5 because that direction does not like to fold without a score. So we're going to score it at 5.5. Then we're going to turn it long ways. On the short end, we're going to cut at 4.25. This time I'm using my darker blade, which is the cutting blade. Okay, so now I have two cards. I'm going to put the one aside. And with this card, we are going to put the fold at 2 3/4, which, oh, excuse me, yawning today, which is half of 5.5. So it's a little hard because our measurements are down here, and I want to go against the edge, which is the straight edge. So I'm going to just put it at the 2 3/4, which actually is the 7 centimeters. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that. That's going to end up being my front panel. Thus the quarter panel card. So the quarter of the front was cut off, which becomes the front of the card. And then I'm going to have a few other pieces to add to this. And so what I have here now is a piece of 2.5 by 4 inches of our Early Espresso designer paper from the neutrals pack. And there's my quarter panel. And then I cut a piece of the vanilla. And I used our stitched rectangle dies, and I just want to tell you right now that I bought the new ones. I have the old dies, but I decided, since Stampin' Up! is making them through another manufacturer, I thought it's worth a try. I had a lot of trouble getting them out of the die without like mangling the edge where it was stitched. And I bought the new dies, and they cut like a dream. I cannot believe I didn't do it sooner. So those will be layered here then on the front. All right, let's go ahead and get to stamping. And so the stamp set I'm using is the Field Journal. And I love nature, I love animals, and we have fabulous, fabulous amount of animals in our new catalog. So I'm going to use the duck today. And I'm going to stamp him in Early Espresso. And I do have a piece of scrap paper here. Let me just grab my grid paper because I don't want to mess up my base. Oh, a little shaky, sorry. All right, now I want to make sure his head is on. And let's see, I want him on this side. I'm not worried if the feet are off a little bit. That looks really good. Okay, and then my saying, I'm going to use the thank you because I don't need anything real big on here. And I love the font of the words in this set. And I'm just going to add, I'll try to stay on screen here, little thank you up here in the corner. There we go. Isn't that cool? To get my head out of the way, you can actually see it. All right, let me close this. And I do want to add a little bit of design to, put this over here, to this background here. And I'm going to be using our birch stamp set. So in order to do that, somewhere here, I cut myself, yeah, here's a piece of scrap paper. So I don't want it to get on the rest of my card, and I just want it to be in this area here. So I'm going to ink it with crumb cake ink because I don't want it to be real dark. And I'm actually going to waste a little bit of the ink with my scrap paper first. Just take away a little bit of that color, and then I'm going to bring this in and get the birch on here. I'll just put this back over so that I can rub real good without worrying about getting ink all over my hands. Sorry, a little shaky. There we go. Now we've got a birch design on our card. All right, let me get this glued down, and then I'm gonna do some coloring. Whoops. Using my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm just gluing half of this, and I'm going to center it right on the card, and I only glued on this side over here, hopefully. Now there's a little bit there, so I got a little carried away, I guess. Let me take some of that off with my eraser. Sometimes I should have measured, probably, so I knew where I was going. This Stampin' Seal Plus is a heavy hitter, and it does not come off easily. And so it's going to take me a few more seconds to work this off, and it's fairly well taken off, but I'll come back and just finish that up at then. Okay, so the only thing, oops, I didn't even want to do that. I'm so dumb. I'm going to try to pull this off of here. And like I said, it is really a heavy holder, but I don't think I pushed really, really hard other than where I was trying to take the adhesive off. And I'm not worried about messing this up too much because that's going to be covered. I did want to put this down first. What am I thinking? Okay. I knew something didn't look right there. All right, let's go back to this. I'm actually going to put a little more adhesive here because you can see how that got torn. And I might just put it back a little ways since I have that extra adhesive on there. Then I don't have to erase the rest of that. All right, then I do want a brown piece on top of this, so early espresso here. And then our duck will go on top of that. So hopefully nature looking. All right, so I want to just add some color to my duck, and I think that he should have his green head since he's a mallard. And I probably should have looked up what a mallard looks like so that I could make sure that I get my coloring right. But yeah, so I'm going to, where the darker marks are, I'm going to put the darker part of the, I'm using shaded spruce. So I'm going to make that darker here. And then I'll come in with my lighter color of shaded spruce and just blend that color together. Mallards are so gorgeous, aren't they? And you know what? I forgot to get a yellow color to do the beak, but all right. And then I'm going to do some brown on his neck. Whoops, I'm using crumb cake. Yeah, do some dark crumb cake here. I'm going to go ahead and just make this all dark. All right, and along the back I'm going to do dark, and then I'm going to come in with the light and also add some light to that. Just going over the lines to blend that a little bit. All right, so I do need some orange for this part, but I will do that then. I'm not going to take the time to go grab that right this second. Just going to do a little bit of brown down here. Okay, there we go. And I think that looks pretty good. And I think he's standing on dirt, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that down here, a little bit of the light crumb cake. All right. So let me glue him down. And I could pop this up with dimensionals, that might be nice, or you could do it flat, whichever you choose. There we go. Very simple masculine card. And I'm going to be putting a piece of just plain white cardstock right here so that I can do my writing on it when I want to send this. Okay, so that's the quarter panel card, and I didn't have to add a lot to the base card. So one sheet of cardstock started my front flap, and then I was able to finish it with just a few other little pieces to create an interesting opening. So I hope that you'll try that fun tip. And I'm going to be doing some more cards with this field journal set because it's so cool. And I will post those as well on my blog post that will be linked to this. I hope you enjoy that.